prices and availability of substitute products or complementary products can affect the price of a product. What are the examples of substitutes and complements? So substitute is one or the other, So substitute is any product that can be replaced easily. So iPhones or Samsung are substitute. So you can buy one or the other. There are each other's substitutes. Generics versus name brands. These are substitute. You could buy generic or you could buy name brand. Beef or chicken can be a substitute. If beef is not available, people will go for chicken. If chicken is not available, people will just eat beef or turkey. These are substitutes. These are meats, so they can come under substitute. Okay, so these were some of the examples of substitute. What about complements? Complement products are two products that go together. So example would be peanut butter and jelly. So for complements it's peanut butter and jelly, and because they go together. Cars and gas. Coffee and cream. Milk and cereal. And you can go on and on. So many things. Marinara sauce and pasta, like things that go together are complements. So what this number 3 says is that prices and availability of other products can affect the demand curve of a product. So if something was to happen to the price of peanut butter, the demand for jelly could actually change because peanut butter and jelly go together. Because they are complements, they go together. If something was to happen to this product, the demand of the other product can actually change. Or if the price of jelly was to increase or decrease, the demand of peanut butter can change. Similarly with substitutes, that if price of iPhones was to significantly increase or decrease, the demand of Samsung could change based on that. So let's say that all of a sudden iPhone is like 100 times more expensive now. What's going to happen to the demand of Samsung? People are going to buy more Samsung. The demand will increase for Samsung. Why? Because the availability of other products, in this case, its substitute iPhone, increased in price significantly. So, demand for Samsung will change. So this is what it's saying, that prices and availability of other products can affect the demand curve of a certain product. So if something was to happen to beef, like if it wasn't available, if something like some storm, It's really expensive now, not available for any reason. People will eat more chicken now. Demand for chicken will definitely increase. Why? Because they're substitutes. Because the availability and prices of this affects the demand of this, and vice versa. Make sense? The availability and prices of other products affects the demand of your product. It can increase or decrease, vice versa. So if gas prices was to go up significantly, people will use less cars. The demand for cars will decrease. Does that make sense? And vice versa. So if cars were becoming very, very expensive, you know, not easy to afford, what would happen? If cars were becoming really expensive, not easy to afford, demand for gas will decrease because people are driving less car now, so they don't need that much gas, and demand will decrease. So you see how some products are connected with each other, like substitutes or complements. And what happens to one, the price or the change in price of one product affects the demand of the other product. Make sense? We're going to practice more. But you should get the idea. So let's do an example. X and Y are substitutes. Let's say that price of X increases. What happens to demand of Y? If X and Y are substitutes, which means that one can replace the other, and X has become really expensive now, well, the demand of Y will increase because Y can replace X, so the demand of Y increases. More people want to buy the cheap Y now because X is too expensive to afford. Let's do another example. Beef and chicken are substitutes. Price of beef increases. Demand for chicken. What do you think? If price of beef increases and chicken is its substitute, what's going to happen? The demand for chicken will increase. More people are going to want to buy chicken now because beef is expensive. So what's happening? More people want to buy chicken now because beef is expensive. And chicken is a good alternate, right? Substitutes are like you have alternates available. Let's do an example of a complement. Peanut butter and jelly. So PB and J are complements. So this is a new example. PB and J are complements. price of peanut butter increases, what is happening to demand of jelly? We know that they both go hand in hand, that you cannot use one without the other. So if price of peanut butter is increasing, we know that less people are buying it now. So what's going to happen to demand of jelly? It will decrease. Less people are buying peanut butter, hence they will be buying less jelly as well, because they're complements. They go hand in hand. What's happening in the graph if I say that you have to show it? Well, draw the peanut butter graph. This was P0 is the initial price. At this price, quantity sold was Q0. Now the price of peanut butter went up, and quantity demand decreased. So this is Q1. Less people are buying peanut butter now. So the change in price of peanut butter affected the demand of jelly. How did it affect the demand of jelly? What's happening to the demand of jelly? It's shifting. Where is it shifting? It's decreasing. So it's decreasing this way. This is initial demand. Demand decreased. It came this way. For every price, quantity demand sold is less. When demand decreases, for every price, quantity demand sold is less. So P0, initially we were selling this much, quantity demand was this much. The price doesn't even have to change here, actually, the price doesn't even have to change here. This was the demand for jelly. After the increase in price of peanut butter, demand decreased. What happened? That for the same price, quantity demand sold was actually less. So before, quantity demand sold was Q0 here. Now for the same price, quantity demand sold is here. Does that make sense? When demand shifts for the same price, you are selling less or more. So price remains the same, but you're either selling less. In this case, you're selling less because demand decreased. In other case, if demand was to increase, for the same price, you will be selling more. Quantity would have increased. We'll do more examples, but this is to a general idea that how the price change of one product affects the demand of other product. There's a shift in demand. Again, here the price is not changing, only quantity demand has decreased and is changing. And the curve has shifted in. So let's do a scenario. And this is somewhat true based on true events. During the Depressions, what happened was that people were buying less diapers. They were keeping the diapers on their kids for a little bit longer, not changing it frequently. They were trying to save money on the diapers, and so what happens was kids started getting rashes, because if you leave it for longer, you know that the baby will get rash. So during the Depression, they were leaving the diapers on longer on the babies, and babies got rashes, and the demand for rash cream went up. A lot of people were buying rash creams. Everyone needed them. So given the scenario, what do you think what kind of product is diapers and what kind of product is rash cream? You know that it's the Depression time, so income is low. So Depression time, income is low. People start to buy less diapers. And buy more rash creams. What does it tell you about diapers and rash creams? Is diaper a normal good or an inferior good? Income went down, you're buying less diapers now. It's a normal good. When income was high, people were buying more diapers. Income went down, they're buying less diapers. So it's a normal good. Income went down and they're buying more rash cream. So rash cream is an inferior good. Why? Because income went down and they're buying more of it. Okay. So this was an example of change in income, and the previous one, the PB&J, was the complements, and we did one for substitute too, chicken and beef.